There. My name is Hannah Lynn Mason, and I am in the Pets and Society course, the grad version of it. And so I'm here to present my poster that I created based on a study that I did some research on called Creature Comforts about personal communities, pets, and the work of managing a long-term chronic illness. It's by Brooks et al. It was published in 2013. And I chose this originally because I myself am a person who deals with a chronic illness. I was diagnosed about 3 years ago, and it's kind of ranged from being able to have normal lifestyle to also being completely bedbound and bedridden. And about almost a year ago, actually, is the adoptiversary of my pup Princess. She's a good girl. She's almost 9. Um, and I have noticed a major increase in my quality of life ever since getting her. And so I was curious to see whether other people who deal with chronic illness experience as well. So this study was uh, presented in the Manchester area of the UK. And it was done on a study of, sorry, she's grabbing my arm. It was conducted on a population of people that deal with chronic heart disease and then also people that deal with diabetes. And it was both a quantitative and a qualitative research. So it was both a survey and also interviews. They got more information. And they looked at 300 different individuals that consented for their information to be made public by their practitioners that they went to. And it was from a variety of different clinics around the greater Manchester area. And 19 of those people, 56 of them, had at least one pet. As you can see in the results, I included a little bit of the demographics of the individuals that were surveyed. And as you can see, they have different types of pets. Dogs were the most popular, and cats, which was pretty common. And then a parrot, which I was a little bit shocked about, but I was thinking about different people with different chronic illnesses. It might be they're a lifelong pet, so it might be a little bit more sustainable. Also, I don't know if the UK, if parrots are more common. And then fish and bearded dragon. Somebody had a bearded dragon, which I love. And a few of the individuals had more than one pet. And they asked them to create circles of their network, basically their community, and then basically label the different individuals that were a part of it. And people also included their pets in that. And then they also asked information about what role their pets and different individuals in their lives played. And they basically set it up with a framework of dividing the roles into emotional work, practical work, and biographical work. So emotional work is what it sounds like. It's support, it's emotional fulfillment, it's consistency, and no surprise, it ended up being the strongest area in which pets performed and the biggest role that they played in their owners' lives. It helped them with loneliness, anxiety, and stress, and different things that come along with a mental illness or chronic illness and can also impact their mental health. And then the second most impactful was practical work. So when dealing with a chronic illness, a lot of your day-to-day is dealing with the logistics of medication, funding, calling doctors, managing care plans. And so while pets don't necessarily help with that side of it, they do help with uh, encouraging us to get outside because at the end of the day, our dogs need to go pee. And so we need to walk our dog at least a little bit outside and see the outside world. And so it can help with exercise. And that's something that actually Princess does that I saw was interesting that a lot of the participants also mentioned was dogs can actually alert us to medical distress. So Princess can actually tell when my heart rate is too high and when I need to lay down, and she will bark at me incessantly. And then also I found out when my friend who has type 1 diabetes was watching her, Princess was able to alert them to a big dip in blood sugar that was about to hit them, and they actually got that on their Dexcom. So there is quantitative evidence that Princess was able to see that was coming, which is pretty cool. And then the least area that pets impacted was the biographical work, which basically is a person's sense of identity, which can be lost a lot of times when you're dealing with an illness. But pets can help keep a sense of purpose and a sense of autonomy when you're caring for something else. You don't have to always be the one that people care for. And so pets ended up having a very interesting and niche role in the lives of their owners that were dealing with chronic illness. They didn't replace relationships with humans. Humans don't replace our relationships with pets. It's kind of a separate thing that adds its own benefit to the person's healing plan with symptom management, but also just day-to-day management, the life outside of just being sick. And so this has implications in so many different areas because a lot of times people that deal with long-term illnesses have to find different methods of healing outside of just the medical world. And so being able to kind of expand the idea of service animals past just the two areas of either service animals, they're doing a single job, or emotional support animals that you can get for just an emotional reason, maybe somewhere in the middle. It could be something about symptom management using findings similar to this, saying that pets really do benefit it, and also providing more care for people who have pets and also deal with chronic illness. Sometimes we have surgery days, and sometimes we have days where we're in the clinic all day and we can't bring our dogs or can't bring our cats or can't bring whatever animal we have. So finding some way or some organization that could help take care of our animals when we are getting that medical care could also be an interesting gap to fill, based on the findings of this study. So that is basically my interpretation of this study. I really enjoyed looking at it. I looked at a lot of other studies as well, just for my own personal edification. I also did research for another course about the impact of being in green spaces and its impact on individuals with chronic illness, which I feel like it'd be cool to kind of combine the two, but that's just something I enjoy. So I really appreciate you supporting us in this class, and I really appreciate the opportunity to learn more about this. So I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your semester, and I appreciate being a part of this class. Thank you so much.